order to write vertex form, we need to have a perfect square. So I'm going to look at up here where the equation is, and it has a 2 in the front, and I can't have a 2 to have a perfect square. So I'm going to divide these by 2 just to see if we have x squared plus 6x plus 21 over 2. And we found the other day that if we took the square root of 21 over 2 and doubled it, does it get 6? And the answer is no. So we need to separate that out. So we're going to put like a little line right here. And I'm going to put 2x squared plus 12x. And then I'm going to actually factor out a 2. So 2 times x squared plus 6x. And then that's what I'm going to put into my sneaky square here. So I have a 2 outside. I know that the x squared goes here. We know that if we split the 6x into 3x and 3x, then it becomes x plus 3 and x plus 3. And then there's this magical thing over here where there's a 9. 3 times 3 is 9. That 9 did not exist above. So if we add 9 to make it a perfect square, then we also have to subtract 9. And then way over here, we're going to take this 21 that we didn't use before, and we're going to add it to the end because it's still part of the equation. And then if we simplify, I have 2 times, and this is x plus 3 times x plus 3, which is really a square, minus 9. And then we have our plus 21. That it is 2 distribute, so 2 times x plus 3 squared, and 2 times negative 9 is negative 18. And then we have our plus 21. And that's what our equation equals. So we're going to simplify that to be y equals 2 times x plus 3 squared, and negative 18 and 21 make positive 3. That is vertex form. And from that, we can pull out the vertex. So we know that it's opposite, it's negative 3 and positive 3. So then our vertex is negative 3, 3. And now if we want to find out what the solutions or x-intercepts or roots are, we can actually solve by plugging in 0 for y. So instead of y, I'm going to put in a 0. So 0 equals 2 times x plus 3, quantity squared, plus 3. Subtract 3 from both sides. We're going to do PEMDAS backwards. Negative 3 equals 2 times x plus 3 squared. And then we're going to divide by 2. And I get negative 3 halves equals x plus 3 quantity squared. And then our next step is to get rid of the exponent, so I square root, plus or minus. And I get positive or negative square root of negative 3 over 2 equals x plus 3. And then I need to subtract 3 from both sides. So my answer is negative 3 plus or minus the square root of negative 3 over 2 equals x. And those are my solutions, or my x-intercepts. Go ahead and pause the video and try letter C. Go ahead and just get the vertex form. On letter C, we want to have a 1x squared. So if we divided everything by 3, that would mean the 9 would be divided by 3. And we would get 3. But you can't really square root that, so we're going to have to separate it again. So we are going to divide by 3 here. And so I'm going to take out a 3 and do our little sneaky square. And then divide the 18 by 3. So cancel this out. This is x squared. And then 18 divided by 3 is 6x again. So I have 3x and 3x. That means this is x and 3, positive, and this is x and a positive 3. So if I squared 3 times 3, I get 9. And again, we added 9 we didn't have, so we have to subtract it. And we actually took this 9 and moved it over here. So if I rewrite it, I have y equals 3 times x plus 3 squared, because we distributed that to our square. And then 3 times negative 9 is negative 27 plus 9. So our vertex form is going to be y equals 3 times x plus 3 squared. Negative 27 plus 9 is a negative 18. So this is vertex form. for letter D, we're going to look at if I divided by 4, so if I divided the 10 by 4, if I take 10/4 and square root it, I don't really double it to get negative 16. So again, we're going to kind of have to separate that out. The 10 is going to come over here. We're not going to use that yet. And then in parentheses, we're going to divide up 4. And we're going to divide 16 by 4. And that gives me negative 4. So 4 divided by 4, I just have x squared. And then I have the negative 16 divided by 4 is negative 4. So that means this is negative 2x and negative 2x. And that would be x minus 2 and x minus 2. And negative 2 times negative 2 gives me that 4. I didn't have 4 before, so I need to subtract off the 4. Then that gives me 4 times, we have x minus 2 and x minus 2. So that becomes x minus 2 squared. And then 4 times negative 4 is negative 16, and then I bring down my plus 10. So 4 times x minus 2 quantity squared. And then negative 16 plus 10 is negative 6. So that is vertex form.